proud of you guys. Just a moment of excitement. So today we're going to be talking about the 5-year plan, which I'm going to move my screen over. I'm still getting used to like the monitor webcam setup. Can you guys still see me? Did I share the right screen? Okay, great. I've been sharing the wrong desktop, and yesterday I had someone that was looking at my Dinnerly Dinnerly recipe as I was trying to coach them. And she was like, by the way, those black bean tacos look phenomenal, but like, could I see your screen? And I was like, oh yes, but you guys can see the week 13 5-year plan, right? That
It's just showing your desktop, Megan. It's like just like your
yeah,
normal desktop. So
I'm just
not
gonna I
not
need
any
to
specific
reshare
screen.
it. I was like, I figured desktop 2. See, I'm glad I asked because I'm learning as we go. Okay. So, and when I was teaching in the pandemic, a lot of teachers said that they couldn't live without their desktop. And I was like, I never actually got one. And I've had 2 days with this and I'm already obsessed. Like, it's just so nice to have such a big screen. It's incredible. So, today we are going to be talking all about the 5-year plan. And I know that some of you guys, I don't know if you guys remember me talking about the pillars of my business previously, but the long-term plan was one of everyone's like favorite things that people would work with me about. And this is part of it. So you can use this for your business. And if you want to use this to help your clients, this is another great tool for you guys to use with them. It's a pieces of a bunch of different programs that I've used. So first off, we're going to be talking about goals. And we've discussed goals in the short term of this program. That was like the 5 steps to goal setting. Now we're going to talk about 5 years from now. Think about where you guys want to be. It's going to be 2028. How old are we going to be? What are we going to be doing? What is life going to look like? That's what we're going to be doing today. And we're going to be talking about how to think about the future and how that can guide us in the present. And the next thing that we're going to talk about is stepping up as the CEO of your business. We're going to talk about your CEO self concept, which we'll get into in a minute. And then again, even though it's like I kind of changed the name to 6-figure systems, at the heart of this, my goal is for this program to be about fulfillment. I want all of you to leave here feeling like you are so fulfilled inside and outside of your business. So we're going to be talking about business, of course, today, but we're also going to be talking about who you are in your life, because sometimes we can identify with our work so much that we can forget all the other pieces of the pie of this amazing life that we get to live. And then we're going to talk about how to build your foggy future vision, which is the 5-year plan. So it says you should set goals beyond your reach so you always have something to live for. And I don't typically read the quotes, but if you're eating breakfast, I want to make sure you can see that. And so within that, when you're thinking about the goals that you want to reach, I was listening to Abraham Hicks. If you guys don't know, she's a bit woo, on the more woo side of things than I typically am. And she was talking about how a lot of us are so obsessed with getting to the benchmark, getting to the goal, getting to the point where our businesses are already making multiple 6 figures and helping thousands of people. And it's like if you're thinking about a person who is sculpting this beautiful creation, and they're going through and they're working on this piece and they work for months, and they create this incredible sculpture, and everyone comes around and they're like, oh, okay, like, look at that, incredible, what are you doing next? And they're like, no, I made that, we're there, that's it, that's all I've got. And it's like, okay, what's next? And it's like, well, nope, that's it. It's like, think about our lives. It's like really is all about the journey of becoming ourselves through these businesses. And I feel like when we can step into really feeling like, okay, this is amazing. The fact that right now, exactly as our businesses are, fucking awesome. Like, it is already so amazing. And I can see room to grow even more. And when you can really see your business like the cherry on top of an already awesome life, I always try and get myself there every single day. And it makes it so much less pressure. And it makes it really about like the whole experience of this business, of this creation that we get to make in the world. So we're going to be talking, I believe, next week or the week after about annual goal setting. And I actually did a webinar about that I'm going to vary a little bit for us, that I'm going to be sharing on either next week or the week after. But I also want you to think about like, what do you want to accomplish like 5 years from now? Like in 2028, what do you want that business to look like? And then in 10 years from now, what do you want this business to look like? I plan on having my business until I stop existing in the world. Like I maybe I'll retire, but like I don't know. I love what I do, and I can't see myself ending this anytime soon. And then the legacy that you want to leave in the world with your business. What are we creating here? What are we creating for posterity and for generations to come? So, when we are thinking about your CEO self-concept, your CEO self-concept is created by your character traits. And you can think about words that you want to think about as CEO of your business. We have set the stage with all of the systems in your business up until this point. So all of the minutia, all those like little systems day to day are set up. And if you think about your business as like a CEO would think about their business, you have employees and then you have the CEO that kind of sees the big picture. They're able to lead in their business. And currently, everyone in this group is a solopreneur. So we don't have anyone that we're managing just yet. But I want you to pretend, even if that isn't a goal of yours to manage other people, what we have set in place are the systems like for the employees. So we've got all the systems ready for all the employees that we work with. The CEO's role is to think big picture, to be expansive, to think about dream big. What could we do? And I want you to realize that as a solopreneur, you actually have both hats. You've got the employee hat and you have the CEO hat. And so even if you never hire a single person ever in your business, you want to think about the way that you would want to lead other people and then lead yourself in that way. I have realized in the past couple years, I have not been my best boss. Like if I was thinking about it, like I would sometimes work myself to the bone. I would work when I'm sick, which I am sick right now, but like I've got it under control. And within my business, I don't want to lead my business in a way that feels terrible to like work with. So I want you to think about like the character traits: compassionate, open, responsive, focused. Think about the words that you would describe. Maybe it isn't yourself currently, but what you would create as your ideal self. Okay. It can be a mix of things that you have and things that you're creating. And those are the words that you're going to put there. And then your beliefs. Now, beliefs for me, when I'm thinking about this, they can be related to business, but also about my life as a person. Again, we are not our business, but as we create this, what kind of things do we want to believe? These are just kind of mantras and phrases that I like to repeat to myself. And I actually do listen to my Upward Spiral Guide daily. So that's what we're creating here. I still listen to it to this day, even though I created it a year ago. And I'll show you what that is. But I have like relationships are the essence of my beautiful life. This is amazing. I never know everything. And that's why it's so amazing. Like those are the things that like I always want to be like guiding my business with, and always kind of like the beliefs that I want to come back to. So today we're going to be creating your foggy future vision. And it is based on 4 different categories: your mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical self. So this is where we're taking you as a CEO, we're seeing you as a CEO, and then we're zooming out. Because for me, especially like for the past like 2 years, I really, when things were going well in my business, it seemed like things were going well in my life. And I would just like with ourselves, when we talked about the way that you self coach yourself, it's like your brain will generalize. So it's like if you are completely focused on work, when things are good with work, it's things are great in all aspects of your life. And then when things aren't great with work, you can generalize it and be like, everything is shit. And so we want to take a step back and just be like, okay, yes, I am a business owner, but I also want to look at all aspects of my life, who I'm becoming. And remember that just because maybe things aren't going a way I planned, or even if things are, it's not the end all be all for my life. So what we want to do is we're going to use the wheel of life. And as you can see, your contribution and your growth in career are just one piece of the pie. There's also your spiritual guidance, whether you feel like you're being guided in the world around you, your relationship with yourselves. I remember when I said that I haven't been self-coaching, I was self-coaching this morning on the way back from yoga. And I just realized how much negative self-talk I had gotten back into. And I was like, that's interesting. So these numbers are always in flow. It's never static. And there's always places to improve. And then relationship with a life partner, relationship with friends and family, health, wellness, and strength, health, enough finances. And I also include that as time. And so these are the aspects that I like to think about when I'm thinking about my business. And what we're going to do is at the bottom, you're going to have a box that has each category. And I want you to list a number between 1 and 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. And again, I said needing help. It was like just for simplicity. 1's not great, 10 is fantastic. And what you're going to do just today is you're just going to choose 1 category. And you're going to choose and think about what you meant when you ranked that category, that number. And again, I said low numbers mean high potential. So if you're like, oh, I am a 1 with my relationship with spiritual guidance, I don't feel connected at all. It's like, cool. That means we got 9 steps to grow. And then instead of thinking about what it would be for a 10 right now, because a lot of times it's like, okay, I have to be a 10 at every aspect of my life right now. That's not true. We got plenty of time. We got 5 years. You could even go 10 years out with this. And you can think about, and that's what I did with my clients before when I did this exercise. I would have them go 10 years out and be like, okay, in 10 years, it's like maybe I take this next year to work on the life partner aspect. And then next year I work on the health. And then next year I work on the wealth. And it's like there's a time, plenty of time for us to accomplish all the things that we want to. And know that even when it's like, I don't think there's ever going to be a point when we're all at a 10 for every category. I don't think that's the point of life. It's like if we were at a 10 all the time, I don't think that would be as much fun. So we're going to see what it would be like. And then you're going to think about that future self. And I want you to start living like that future self today. I really want you to get into that energy. Like when I picked out my outfit today, I was like, okay, what would, and I call her Millionaire Megs, just so you know, for fun. So when I'm thinking about my self-concept, I was like, okay, I'm going to wear a little blazer and I'm going to wear a nice dress and it's form-fitting and I'm going to have earrings on. I'm going to wear a ring. Like I was like, I could see my future self wearing this. And I have been trying to like dress like my future self. I've been trying to do yoga like my future self, drive my car like a future self, hydrate like my future self, like all of the things. So when you are thinking that, you want to make sure that you're creating this self-concept that you can start living into right now, regardless of whether there is money in the bank, clients in the business to prove it. And I like to call this a daily practice. So for me, I recorded myself when I read mine and I went through all the categories. And remember when I said I was in Antarctica and I actually like redid this? It was so powerful to just take some time away and just like really think about like who I want to be in this world. And so I have it as my voice memo and you can see it like I just listened to it on the way to work. Or on the way to yoga, usually.
Welcome to the Upward Spiral Guide. The purpose of this Upward
A little
Spiral Guide
nasally.
is to
God, I hate listening to myself.
conscious mind and slowly.
But I do listen to it every day. And it just kind of reminds me of like who I am, who I'm becoming, and the legacy I want to leave on this world. And that's what I would like for you guys to start doing as well. So what we have here is there are goals that you want to also put into practice. And when you're thinking about your business as a whole, here we go. Everyone should have this document within our systems So I want you to think big picture. Like, yes, we have our goals for this year, and a philosophy of Brooke Castillo, who's the person who I went to school with, is she likes to set impossible goals. And for her, it's almost like desensitizing her brain to failure. And for me, I think that's a really neat way to do it. I'm sure in my business, there are going to be sometimes when I set goals that I can't hit, for sure. And it's going to feel disappointing. And I'm going to like experience that processing emotion at some point. Today, I don't want to do that. I'm like, I wanted to set a really easy goal for myself this year that felt really just, I could probably hit that. And that just felt good for me. I was like, I don't want to keep like, I've stretched you guys have stretched yourself a lot over the past 3.5 months. Set some goals that you are like, okay, I would love to hit this. That would be amazing. And we'll talk about like, instead of like an under goal stretch and I forget even what it was. It was like, I still like the name under goal. It's like, okay, this would be a service goal. Like this would be an amazing service to provide in the world. This would be amazing. And then this would be incredible. And like, that's the way I'm trying to set my goals now because it feels so much more abundant versus like under goal. That sounds like underwear. I'm like, that's terrible. It's like, I don't want to be setting underwear goals. I'm like, no, everything that you do in your business every single day for every single person is putting something positive into the world, whether you see it or not. And so I want you to think about your business and career goals and just think about like 5 months, 5 years, 10 years, your whole life. You've got plenty of time. We all have so much time. What do you actually want to create and contribute? And then we'll get into the character traits. Those are just one word. You can elaborate on that. Your beliefs. Again, those are sentences that you just want to take with you. And then these are things that you're currently ranking and why. And again, like, so if you were to think about your career growth and learning, in the scale of my lifetime, I'm seeing my career is at like a 2 right now. I'm like, I've already created this amazing group, but y'all, I can see some things for this business to grow. Like, I don't know. I've got some plans. Like I also can see myself creating a program for elementary school so that kids can learn the model and things like that in the future. Like that's something that I've never shared with you guys, I don't think before, but it's like there's a coach in Durham that's like doing the same thing for high school students. I'm like, I eventually would like to do something like that I can just like roll out into schools. The difference in community that would kind of be going there. Like I feel like that would, because it's like I think it's great to find coaching when I did, but I'm like, man, if we get coaching in the hands of kids earlier, that would be amazing. Your relationship with yourself, your connection spiritually with the world around you, your romantic relationship, your relationship with your friends and family, your health, wellness, and strength, your money and time. And that's a little piece of the pie for you guys to see. And when I did this long-term plan, this is what mine looks like. And also I said, shout out, I got this beginning part with Rachel Bell in that OCA program that I don't think is continued anymore, but that's where Dorit and I met. And I love this. This was so helpful. So it's like compassionate, focused, joyful, expansive. Like you can elaborate on them because I just had a lot of things there. And then like these are like my beliefs about myself. And like there's some like my body is a vessel and I will nourish and care for it. Not related to coaching, but it's just the kind of beliefs I want to carry. And then the manifesto, I don't think we have that there. But that's like when you think about what you would need to make it a 10, go big. Like weave the craziest, most amazing life for yourself that you can possibly imagine. I'm like, I'm a brilliant, inspired, and aligned human being. That is a ballsy statement to say, but it feels so fun to just like dream big and like no one's going to read this. No one is going to judge you. It's like I was able to help more people. We're thinking about starting a nonprofit. I'm thinking about like, who knows? Like Rob and I have talked about like doing some things in other countries. Like, I don't know. Life is short. Let's like dream big, you know? So that is what is going on for you guys now. And it should be in the Business Fulfillment Mastermind classroom. If you go down to week 13, even though I know it's not week 13, it's here. Foggy future plan in here. And if you click make a copy, you'll see the same document. And I finished a little early, guys. So you get 35 whole minutes to get this going. Are there any questions? Yes, Deb.
I don't know if any of you know anything about how you can take like personality tests to see like
Yeah.
what kind of business goes best with building it with your personality, but I think I need to take one of those tests because this today like lights me up so much more than like the other things that are more like the business tracking and all that. Like this just excites me to no end. So I think it's just one of those little clues to me. Like I've been really tapping into my spirituality and I haven't been taking as many actions as maybe I want to, but I have been growing so much in just tapping into that intuition. And I think that's my biggest growth actually through going through this program so far. So do you have any recommendations on like, should I take that test or what? Or maybe this is my answer. Maybe I just take what I know here. I don't need to keep looking.
I think that like for me, when I'm thinking about the ways that I'm like wanting to run my business, and I'm thinking about putting this actually as one of the like first thing for the bonus systems, because you can do this to run a business, but it just is so helpful to think big picture. And
Yeah.
I would say I've also been getting in touch with my intuition. And if you think about your business on a huge scale, and I'm not sure if this is what you're asking me, but this is what I'm thinking, is that like the whole reason why we create these businesses is to, I think, feel like I think that when we come to this planet, this is a lot of woo for all y'all, but I think that when we come here, I think we kind of know what our purpose is, and our souls kind of get chipped away as life happens to us. And when we start to feel like that aha moments, like the intuition like clicks, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just like we're actually able to heal enough to like find our purpose and lead forward. And so if that is what you are getting from this, yes, like that's amazing. And the business stuff will come too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I trust that like I've been really working on one of my my hypnotherapist says that I need to learn to manage with trust instead of control. And I trust that you are on this perfect journey and that you heard this today for a reason. And now you're able to like think more expansively about your business. Now, as far as personality testing go, I think my personality changes pretty drastically because I think that my personality is a set of beliefs that I have about myself or thoughts about.
I believe that too.
So I think it can't hurt. But the only thing that I would like, I've been thinking about myself as like more of an introverted person. And I felt like that, it's kind of been holding me back in responding to people. I know it sounds crazy, but like I actually have a lot of social anxiety about like responding to people on Instagram. I've got like 40 messages in my inbox and I'm like, so much anxiety. But within that, I feel like I was using it to hold me back instead of to serve me. So if you feel like you ways and it could be used against you in some way. About whether that would be good for you.
I guess that's where I kind of get a little not confused, but
it's your favorite old emotion. You can be confused.
I'm like, I'm not gonna say confused. It is my favorite indulgent. But yeah, I will go to do something and like feel like maybe I need a hypnotherapist.
Oh, y'all
completely feel like totally blocked, and then this kind of stuff just like opens me up again, but it might be a safety thing too. So it's just figuring it out. I guess it's my part of my journey.
For you, when we're thinking about like whatever opens you up, whatever gets you unblocked, we want to follow those breadcrumbs. So if you feel like doing, like, what about this made you feel unblocked?
I don't know. I was just like, when you were like saying the thoughts like about yourself that you're like, think big, for me, just like came to me and it felt just totally clicked in, is like, I'm a thought leader who's changing the world today and generations to come. Like it just feels true and right.
Oh, wait,
And
I have that in my that generations to come. Weird. Okay, cool. Goosebumps. Here for it.
right. So things like that. And then just talking about, I like how that Simone Solho talks about when you were talking about having goals. She talks about having like a winning goal and a bonus goal
Yeah.
instead of like an under goal. So it's like you're always winning because you can always control the winning goal. It's like the process. Am I showing up every day with the way my calendar's set up? That's my winning goal. The bonus goal is the clients that come in, because we can't really control it. We can control what we do.
I like that.
Yeah. So I don't know, just this kind of thing. I love future self stuff. It just seems easy to me, I guess, but maybe it is because, again, I'm not putting myself out there. I'm feeding my soul, but I'm not like.
Well, I think that if you think about it, if you get, and I was thinking about this too, because I've been taking a lot of time off, just kind of like literally because I was sick. But I was thinking about like, I was listening and trying to like motivate myself to do some work. And I listened to Abraham Hicks, and she's like, if you're procrastinating, there might be a reason for it.
Mhm.
It's like we want to go in the path. And again, not everything is supposed to be easy all the time, but when like things feel right. Now, what she was saying, and I'll share this with you guys, like the thing that she was saying, but she was like, if you think about the reason why you started your business and like the bigger purpose behind it, and having this like momentous force, like the inertia of it all, if you think about that, when I was thinking about like doing taxes, for instance, and like sending all that stuff to Diane, not motivated, doesn't feel great to me, doesn't feel super fun. However, when I think about like the taxes that I earn are going to pay government systems, while they might be flawed, it's the best we got, and they can go to help and serve other people. And that's, I think, my innate purpose is to help other people, to help the world.
Mhm.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So there's an aspect of like innate motivation. And then there's also thinking your way to create that motivation for yourself. And that's the power of thought work and things like that.
Mhm.
But another thing, and I was going to share this with all of you guys, but I've learned, because I was thinking that, oh, well, I have to be feeling good all the time in my business, or else something has gone terribly wrong. And I've learned, I'm actually doing a post about it today, that whereas the model, it says that there's one thought and one feeling, and it's very broken up like that. What is actually happening, and I didn't know this, but there are two parts of your brain responsible for emotions. There are multiple, but you could have two neurons firing at once, aka you could have two thoughts happening simultaneously. So you could have a thought that like, I don't really want to do this is awkward and awful, and you could also have the thought like, oh my god, this is my purpose and this is what I'm meant to do. And that's like, have you heard of like the story? It's like, there are two wolves, which wolf will live? It's like the one you feed. It's
Mhm.
like, so it's like, if we want to feed the purposeful thoughts, that's what we want to spend more time on,
Mhm.
noticing the other thoughts and going from there. But you can actually be experiencing like multiple feelings at once. So you can feel like immense amounts of shame and confident at the same time.
I like to call it a bundle.
It is a bundle. That's a good way to put it.
It's a bundle. So it's like you have to like unbundle it to kind of like,
Mhm.
just list out all the feelings and then like pull it apart. Yeah.
Yes. And also, as women, hormones are like literal feelings that are just like released in our bodies that actually don't have thoughts behind it. So
That don't, yeah.
you don't have to, like, it's like sometimes they're like, I was like, I've been feeling really funky for like the past couple of weeks, and I've come up with so many great thoughts that were like really helpful. But I literally also realized yesterday, I was like, I've just been sick and hormonal. Like
Yeah.
my-
During my period, I'm like, I don't plan anything big because it is like I have to coach myself so much more.
it's a recycle plan. So it's like maybe
Yeah.
you batch for next week's content when you know you're about to have your time, or you just don't post on those weeks.
Yeah.
You're not gonna stop running because you don't post.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either. So
Well,
I think
thank you.
you're on the right track. I'm feeling it for you.
I just feel good. I feel like I'm figuring it out. Like I don't feel like I was before where I was like, I gotta figure like I know I am figuring it out. And there was also a podcast. I'll have to put it in our chat because I love it so much. Do you ever listen to James Wedmore?
No.
Oh my gosh, he's a business, it's called Mind Your Business podcast. And he talks about the power of words and how there's energy behind them, like, you know, our thoughts create our emotions, but removing certain phrases from our life, even not having to do with business. So no more saying I can't do this. Like I'm choosing, like if somebody invites you and you're already busy, or I don't know, that's what I'm working on. I am in a negative way. Like if you're saying I just am this person. Anyway, he lists all these different things and it's really affected me in a positive way. And it's interesting, even just not using those words in everyday life. So
Yeah.
I'll put it in the group chat.
Well, and I think that like, how cool is it that like we're also like a bunch of women, like I don't know about you guys, but I've even though I felt like I've had a place in the world, like I don't ever feel like I've always necessarily fit in. But here, like we're talking about like thought work and stuff, and like I'm like, send me all the podcasts when it becomes like self-realization. It's like I feel like what a cool opportunity for us to like have this community as well. And like,
Oh, and I was going to offer you this. This is the one most important part is instead of saying, I don't know, you can say, I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm working on it. So just adding yet, like he talks about what to take out and what one word you can add. Like you're keeping that openness to like, I know it's coming.
mm,
So anyway,
And
sorry, I took up a lot of time.
totally fine. I'm so glad that you brought that up. And I know that it served everybody. I know it did. So I'm really proud of you guys. All the feels, just we are killing it. Proud of you. And I will see you guys in 22 minutes. Okay. I'll start my little clock. And the tunes. Feel free to turn off your video if you wish.
525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man? In truths that she learned, or in times that he cried, in bridges he burned, or the way that she died. The story never ends. like my bones at the end of the day. I take all my away. The tears run down my eyes. Somebody,
Hey Megan, can you put that? Oh, can you put that slide up that talks about like that timeline on how we fill out the rating?
Yes, I can. So it's like for me, I did like 1 is the worst.
Mhm,
Not like the worst, but like, it's like could use improvement. And then 10 is the best. And so
mhm,
you think about like what it would take for it to be a 10 in that category. So like if you're thinking like uh spiritual guidance is like on the lower side for some, like maybe it's like a 2. And you're like, okay, I felt more spiritual and I know that I feel like I could want to be more connected. What would it
mhm,
take for you to be a 10? So like for me, I feel like I notice that my spirituality, like I notice I get like hits of like intuition, and it's usually like when I'm meditating. I've done breath work before. I've definitely felt like I was very aligned at that point. And so those
okay,
kind of things I would put in there to like what I would want it to be for 10 years. So it's like, and when I wrote it in the third person. So I wrote like, Megan really took time to hone her business, or like, here, I'll find the spirituality one. It's like Megan was able to reconnect, and I use the word source energy. That's like my word for like a higher power or things like that. And she was able to heal thoughts that she had about the universe. Cause like in the past, I was like thinking that like, it's like didn't feel that way. And it was like she feels so settled in her purpose that she uses that motivation to guide herself. When she started opening up to more things on the spiritual side of things, like doing meditations and continuing to listen, she really started opening up to more of the spiritual side of things by doing more meditations and continuing to listen to her intuition. Meg learned how to trust the universe and now sees the world in a new light, where she's co-creating to help evolve the collective consciousness of the whole. So it doesn't have to be like that intense. Like I had a long time on a boat that was very intense on the Drake passage, but it just like if you could weave like the best life for yourself in 5 years, what would that be? What would that look like? And that's what you put on there.
Okay, thanks.
Amazing. Oh.
Somebody to love.
Ten-ish minutes left. Ooh.
We were leaving for the stratosphere. Easy breathing in your atmosphere. Oh, how could how could I ever forget last year when we were on top, when we were on top of the world, when we were on top, when we were on top of the world, the seasons don't stop, the axis forgot to twirl, when we were on top of the world, send me flying like a rocketeer without trying. Now I'm way up here. Oh, how could I? How could I ever forget last year when we were on top? When we were on top of the world, when we were on Well, I thought about the army. Dad said, son, you're fucking high.
Ooh.
Yo, what's good? I heard things about you, but of good things that always wrong. Cause I have missed you lately. It's kinda scary that you're gone. I know you never need a word. I know you never need a word. No, you never like a year out of bed, and I still see you that way. It's crazy things to think of now. I'm a broken heart again, giving all away. We're crying off the pain. When my mind is blurry, it feels like somehow I know you never need a word. I know you never need a word. No, you never Sweetheart, just on the line. Sweet love and beating the ground. Don't hate me, don't even fight. Some doubts, it's 30 to 5. I know you never need a word. I know you never need a word. In mine, I was helping me, and as the rain came down, I dropped to my knees and I prayed.
1 minute warning.
I said, oh heavenly thing, please cleanse my soul. I sing all
Wrap it on up. All right, everybody. Let's do this thing. Okay.
We're gonna shine to the top.
Sorry, I was getting our boarding passes for tomorrow. Super fun. Okay.
We're gonna
Amazing. Who would like to start off with some coaching? And actually, I want everyone to start. If you want coaching, I would love for you to start with a win or something just positive. Because I think that if we can, that's the way I like to start my one-on-one calls. And I think it'd be super fun for us to do that.
I can go.
Miss Carrie, tell me what's up.
Okay, I'm starting with a win. I recently just booked an event at a boutique in Raleigh. So
Oh my God.
I know, I'm so excited. I
Okay.
actually booked it, I think 2 weeks ago.
That's incredible though. So you're gonna be doing like a show for them or something?
Yeah, it's funny because I initially thought I didn't think a webinar would work for me because I don't know, I just didn't know. I feel like the most people who see me on social media are from Instagram, but I did actually grab one client from Facebook, which I don't even know how she found me because a business page on Facebook, I think we talked about this. It's really hard. It's easier to have like a personal page that's your business.
Yeah.
But I was thinking maybe I would do a webinar to just help me practice, but basically I'm just going to go in and grab, depending on what I told them, I want this to work for you too. So if there's sale items or new items that come in, I'll try to like push those and just really tell people how to pair them and what, how you can use them in a variety of different ways. So it's for like not necessarily new moms. It could be for any kind of mom, but I was just talking to the manager and I was like, yeah, I get a lot of new moms that are kind of like, I don't know what to wear after COVID and like my body has changed. So we're doing like a mom's morning out in March.
Love that.
Yes.
Amazing.
So
That
that's my win.
win. Love this for you. And I can't wait to hear about how it goes. And I feel like it's so cool to see all of you guys like doing the damn things. Like I think that Sarah, Demetria, and I think Shanna, all three of you guys did in-person events. So like,
Oh, that's so cool.
love it, people. So tell me, what would you like some coaching on today?
I've had a bit I guess I really haven't. I mean, in my head I have. Like I'm like always trying to push myself. I'm trying to balance. I think I do well trying to balance. I want to have a ton of clients. But I don't want to kill myself. Like I don't want to be burnt out and I want to always create a good lookbook and take my time on things. I don't want to stress out. I want this to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like in February, it sometimes it's hard. In February, I feel like I didn't get a lot of people reaching out to me. I had one person that was very interested. I reached out, sent her my link, she's on vacation. I followed up again and she was like, yes, but never scheduled anything. So I have a really hard time reaching out again. Like I feel like I'm nagging them, but like someone else was like, oh, she really wants to work with you. And I'm like, well, then what is she doing? Like, of course, I just want her to schedule a consult with me. And I just, I had someone else reach out to me, but her event is in May. And I felt really good about being honest with her, like for me not to get the sale and say, hey, I feel like we should wait because I know April is going to have some new styles. And I felt really good at just about being honest. Like I'm not going to get the sale for February. That's okay. But I'm going to better serve her because I think that there will be other things I can choose from for her specific events in May. Like, I think it's a little too early. So I felt really good about that. But in the sense of getting more clients, I feel like I'm doing so many other things that it's so hard to like just do it all. Like, I'm trying to write down everything I'm spending. I'm trying to create a content calendar. I'm working on outreach. Outreach is very, if I don't know someone, I'm trying to be strategic about how I'm reaching out. Like, if I get a new follower, I'll say, hey, thanks for following, and find something I like about their profile. But like the 40 people, that is extremely uncomfortable to me because I didn't like when people reached out to me for selling makeup.
Yes.
I didn't like that. Like, so I always I constantly am putting myself in other people's shoes in that sense.
Huh? And I think that you still should. However, I think that maybe we can just take a new approach.
Yeah.
Or makeup is what you said. So what I'm hearing is interesting because it's like at the beginning, it's like this thought about like reaching out again and like talking to people. I
Mhm.
think it can feel very uncomfortable. And we're going to come back to this thought about like committed but not attached. So it's
Like a
like,
client being like, I want to do this. And then never, yeah, that's like, I know that that happens all the time. I think I would like to know how to handle that
yeah.
without being annoying.
So it's like, but the
Because
thought is
people
like,
have life, you know, like I get it.
you know what I mean? It's like if you like really are like set on her being your person, that's I think you're a bit attached to her. And you're also like, I think you're when you're thinking about nagging, I think you just have some thoughts about talking to people that we could just like check in about, be like, okay, is this really like is that where her headspace would be at? Like for I'm trying to think about like Stacy, the person about like hiring people. She reached out to me the other day and I was like, the credit card is coming. I'm so excited. Like I felt so honored that she was reaching out to me. I was like, this is awesome. So glad that you reached out. I'm absolutely coming. She gave me a book and I was like, I just felt thrilled. So I think that your thoughts are that like they don't want this. Because if she doesn't want this, then yeah, it could be seen as nagging and annoying. But I know that she wants it because you've literally had someone else tell her,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
tell you
Yeah,
that.
I guess I wouldn't like how you just said, oh my God, she just reached out to me. I can't imagine someone being like, oh my God, she reached out to me. You know what I mean? Like I can't think that, oh, like someone thinks I'm that cool that I'm reaching out to them, you know?
Carrie, we absolutely think you're that cool. Yes. Answer. And yes, it is. Your business is amazing. You're helping. It's like, and also, I want to know how you're reaching out to people. Like, if you're reaching out to people and you're like, hey, I want to know if you want to work with me. I'm a personal stylist and I'd love to style you. Then, yeah, that's going to seem a little weird. We don't want to do that. You just
No,
want to
I'm trying to do like what you said and
Huh?
just create a relationship. Like if it's the first time
Yeah.
I'm talking to them, or sometimes I will, like if I put a poll up of something that I have the answer to and they voted that they didn't know what it was, I'm using that as an outreach. Like I asked if people knew what Newly was, and some people said no. So I was like, oh, great opportunity for me to tell them what it is and like start a message thread.
But
Some
you feel like
people,
that's awkward.
no, that I was okay with. That I was okay with.
Okay, what is that?
I just don't, I hate to be the first one. If like I've never had a conversation with them, like maybe they liked my post, maybe they liked a couple of my posts.
Huh?
I guess I would have to do some research. Like if they liked a couple of my posts and they're like repeat offenders, then I guess I wouldn't feel as bad or as awkward because clearly they like what they see.
Yeah, like what if you ask a question in that post at the end of it? And you're like this and I'll reach out to you. Like so it feels more
Yeah.
consistent. I wanted to feel like we're not having conversations with people that are against their will. We are also not having conversations with people that are like if they're liking your post, then that could be considered an opt-in. But we're not, it's not like you like their post, and it's like, hey, I noticed that you like this. Would you like to work with me? Do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we want to be like, hey, I noticed that you like this post. And what I was talking with a client yesterday, and he was like, I'm really struggling with that cold. Like the first, or he was saying, because we talked about like soft touch versus hard touch, and I hate those words. I'm like, I was like, it sounds so creepy. Like soft touch,
Yeah.
or it's like, so what if it's like there's a cold connection? And if you think about it like marketing, it's
Yeah,
like,
that would be helpful.
so it's like, okay, so we just need, you know what to say for the warm and hot, but what about for the cold connection? Somebody liked your post. And so it's like, I want to take you to a place where you can see that like talking to people isn't weird, because I think we need to get you there first. And then I want to give you an alternative option as well, if you feel like it is still a funky thing for you. But like, let's say someone liked your post, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love your posts. They're so aesthetically pleasing. Maybe it's a person that's not interested in you right now. Worst case scenario. Okay. What could you ask them to be like a normal person, to get to know them as a person, not just like, hey, I own a business. Let's work together right now. Let's look at your last post, for instance.
I think it was you.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
Well,
you were my last post.
let's go to here.
The second to last one.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like
Oh, someone said ouch.
ouch. I love it. And so it's like maybe, so it's like anyone. Oh, and you also follow Savannah. I love Savannah. But it's like anyone that like this, and they're like liking lots of things, and you're a friend of them,
Uh-huh.
you could reach out to them. You could also just do something like normal, and not like normal, but like you could be like, if this girl, you could just like be on her story, and you could go and be like, love this. Oh my gosh, I've been there. Amazing. Like, where is,
Okay, so I think this is what I was
it's
mixing.
not about like, hey, I noticed that you like the post about platform mugs. Tell me more about platform mugs and your experience with them.
Outreach. Okay, so that's good then, because I think I was really putting outreach just in the bucket of messaging people and this creepiness, where what you're saying is like just comment on different things.
Yeah, just get to know them as a human. Like, just be like,
Yeah. I
really,
think I
really-
was overthinking the outreach, because I do try to
Yeah.
do that. And I think actually this is a fun tip
Mhm.
that what I realize is that so many people don't comment. Like you'll get more likes,
no one
right?
comments
No
on
one
it.
comments. So if you're the only person that comments, these businesses have to reach out to you, because there's a company that I want to work with or just like form a partnership with.
Yes.
And I sent them like 5 emails, didn't respond. And then I commented, and then they reached out to me. And I'm like, well, I actually sent you 5 emails. So I thought that was a really good tip. Okay, that is helpful, because I was definitely overthinking the whole let me slide into your DMs, because
Yeah, you're never gonna
can't
slide into
do
someone's. No, we do not slide into DMs. Outreach, not slide into DMs. Please do not. That is not what I teach. I teach to make a relationship with a person that's liking your stuff because they probably are interested. And
Mhm.
they just like don't feel comfortable to be like, Carrie, I really, really want to work with you. I've been liking all of your posts, like, but it's like I feel kind of weird about it. And also, like, I would say that the cold connection is like a post, a story post or something for the
Yep.
Instagram followers. I changed it up a little bit to be like less of an ask and a question. But it's like, hey, if there's anything I can do to support you, just let me know. And it's like,
Okay.
boom. It's like just a very simple, like, it opens the
Okay.
door for them. It's welcoming and inviting, but you don't need to ask them a question if you don't want to. You could also
Okay.
ask a question, be like, is there anything you're looking for with a personal stylist? I called you a personal style coach. I hope that's okay.
I actually, for some reason, I just like personal stylists. I don't, I feel like I'm not a coach. I just like personal stylists. I don't know why. It's like nothing against coaching at all. I
No,
just
I
like
think it's
personal
like
stylists.
you're like associating regardless. I think it's amazing. Whatever so it's like, is there anything you're looking for? It's like, are you for personal for with a personal stylist?
Mhm.
And they'll be like, oh, I'm just following a couple people, love your style. Great, awesome. Well, if you need anything, you let me know. And they can,
Okay.
but also those connections with people, they get more people to look at your stories, and then maybe they know somebody who could use you. And then
Right.
they will follow you more. And like the people who I've like just reached out to, it was like we A had a common connection, B, I knew I could help them. And I could see that I was like, oh, I could totally help this person if they wanted to. No pressure ever. How does that feel? Better?
Good. 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 Good.
Now, the next little tidbit, if you're doing this event, what I told Demetria in our one-on-one, and thank you guys all for booking this. Those are
Oh, I
awesome.
have to book that.
Yes, book your one-on-one before March, because then I'm going to be doing consults and stuff. But within that, I also was like, so you're just getting to know people. You're not being creepy and weird. The other thing is, if there are companies that you want to work with or things like that, like Demetria is, we were talking about like for her business, she did the presentation. Remember when we were coaching, she did one about working with college students on creating your personal brand. And she was like, for the personal brand, I was like, who else could use a personal brand? You already have the presentation done. And she was like, oh, I could talk with realtors. I could talk with women's group. I could talk with this person. I could talk with that person. And so she got all these, like we had like a plethora of ideas. So who could use personal styling? Maybe a mom's group, maybe a women's group, maybe like the women's social club.
But you know what's funny about Facebook too is like I saw these groups because people will sometimes send me
Yes.
things like, oh, Carrie, someone's looking for this recommendation, but you're not supposed to post about yourself, right? Like some of the groups are like, this is not a group where you can like sell your services. You
Yeah.
have to be recommended, which is hard because I want to be like, me, like, hire me. You know what I mean? I want to go in and say like, this is who I am. But I do find that like I did that once and it like wouldn't get posted. And I was like, oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't you can do that.
Well, that's like, and then, but I would talk to the group leader and I'd be like, DM the group leader, whoever's running the group, you can see it on Facebook. And
Yeah,
what
maybe
I
do
did is
that.
I was like, hey, I would love to do a presentation for your group. I think it could just be really beneficial. What's the presentation you're doing the webinar for in March?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think I finished my thought, but basically I think I'm just doing a presentation, which I think a webinar, like doing a webinar before that would kind of just help practice speaking and what I'm going to do and what I'm going to talk about. So I don't have one yet, but I guess let's just say like I would use a top that you can use a bunch of different ways. So talk about like versatility and just different styles. Like I always like to like that pass or smash thing I did because so many people ask me about a boyfriend blazer and I always tell people like that's so trendy right now, but it only looks good because she's posing perfectly in it.
Right.
Like
And
I'm not going to a cafe in Paris and going to sip you know what I mean? Like it's not, it's cute. It's super cute. I love it. I just don't, you know what I mean? So I want to educate people in that sense where like, let's buy things that are for our lifestyle. They can absolutely be trendy, but you know, that's that what I want to like educate people on and to so it's not scary. Like, no, you don't need the most trendy thing. We can look for something that's going to work for your lifestyle.
and like here's and what I was thinking is like for spring, it'd be like how to style the top 6 like spring
Oh yeah.
for spring. And you can go, like we were saying before, with the lookbook, head to toe. Be like, here is
Mhm.
here's the purse, here's how it can be styled, here's this jacket, here's a dress, or here's whatever your 6 are. But like it's like that could be, and it's like, instead of styling trendy things, be like, these are the lifestyle things. And that can be like your philosophy behind it and having that. But
Mhm.
being like head to toe, I'm gonna set you up for spring. Like, or step up your spring wardrobe or something like that.
I like that.
So you're like, hey, I want to talk to these it's like you could change the word spring for maternity. Fill in is
Right.
where you go. It's like just fill in the whatever group it is. It's like your maternity wardrobe, your professional, your entrepreneur, or it's like your CEO, your like finding groups that your realtor.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like you can just go and find these like, okay, how to like set up your spring XYZ wardrobe and be like, hey, I am doing this presentation for X. It's like I'm doing this presentation for my people. And I was wondering, it's like doing a presentation for my people. And I was wondering if you wanted me to do this for you as an we'll think of better words for your group free, like, and I would be happy to do it for free. And then be honest, Nikki doesn't sell. And you want to say, like, I'm a new personal stylist in the area, and I would love to get my name out there and help your people as well. Would that be something you would be interested in? Okay. It's
Mhm.
like, and then like you've got like, and you just send this to all the group leaders and being like, hey, I'm doing this presentation for my group. I want to see if you want me to do this for you. And you and your group, I'd be happy to do it for free because I'm a new personal status in the area.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. There's so many groups out there, and I definitely
I
I
know.
don't work on Facebook a lot.
And it sucks. I don't love Facebook. I don't love Deb, you and me both. We don't love the Facebook groups. It's not our favorite thing, but it is really, really useful when you're trying to find a group of like-minded people to do something. Like it's like, you know what? Like, and I was just thinking about it the other day, but like for me, I'm like, it's a similar kind of thing with like the life coaching groups. And so that I found, and I'm like, because it's like it's not like, well, actually for you could go in person currently. And I was just thinking about, I'm like, if there isn't a group for life coaches in Raleigh, I'm gonna make one. I'm gonna make it happen. But for physical groups, there isn't a life coaching group that I know of in Raleigh just yet. And so I would love to create that and like create a community around that. You already have communities. And I was talking with Demetria, I was like, this makes me want to be a general life coach all over again. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I could just talk with the realtors, and I could talk with the entrepreneurial groups, and I could talk with the maternity groups. I could do presentations for everybody. And that's what I did. And it was like, I was pretty good at it. You know, it's like you get experience as you go. And so then if they are like, it's like, would that be something you're interested in? It's like, I have some time this week to discuss how we could customize it to meet your group's needs. Do you have some time available? And then on that call, what you can do is, if they seem like they're like kind of like if they're hesitant for some reason, one of the things, so I was supposed to do a presentation for the Coaching Posse, which is a group for Life Coach School alumni. And I told her that I would give her what's it called? Oh, when you like, if for every person that signed up with me, I was going to give her like $100. What do you call that? It's not a
Incentive?
referral.
Incentive?
Yep, an incentive. There's another word for it. I'm one for another.
Promotion?
Affiliate. So it's like, so you could call, like, you'd be like, hey, and I'd be happy to offer anyone that works with me. I want to thank you for your time and giving me this opportunity. So if anyone works with me, I'd be more than happy to give you $100 for each of those clients as well, just as a thank you for giving me this opportunity to present in this group space. Would that work for you?
Okay.
It'd be like per person. But I think so. It's like, first off, I think that like you've got like an amazing thing like here with like the connections 101. But also I think you're also sitting on $1 million like industry in the RTP area. Like seriously, like if you were to be like CEO, professional, like you could go and do that to any of the big companies if you wanted to and be like, I'm going to help you style yourself for success. Like sign up to work with me. Here's my card.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I told you about that I want to tell everybody about is that like people like you and they are proud to work with you. And like when I filled out your form, you were like, oh, like you don't even need to put your name. It's like, y'all, everybody wants to work with you. How cool is it to say that you've got like a life coach? Like, even for like, and Deb, I want you to see that face. And I'm like, even if they're working with you with weight loss, and also you already know this, your clients fucking love you. And so it's like within that, knowing that like people want to share about things that work for them. We all want to make our lives better and we're all doing that. So people want to share. So like I would say that this could be something that you could do. And like it's cool to have a personal stylist. I felt like I was the fanciest person ever. I was like, I have a personal stylist. I called my old coach Jackie and I was like, Jackie, you won't believe I just had a personal styling thing. She's like, you did not. I was like, bitch, I did. It was so fun. And I was telling like all my friends about it, like at the 200K mastermind. Like, I'm like, I think what we do was the coolest shit ever. So share about it. And other people are gonna, if you go into it with that mindset, think about how differently people would react to you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you. That's helpful.
How you feeling? Complete for the day, at least?
Yes, I do feel better. I do feel better. Just about the overthinking the outreach in general and feeling better about how to reach out to people on Facebook because that was really hard for me. I felt, and especially because I got one client from Facebook. So I was like, how did she find me? She doesn't even have an Instagram. And I was like, there's no way she found me because I'm not sure how it's out there. I can't figure out how it's out there. So that just goes to show you that I have to put a little bit more love into that aspect.
Yeah, especially because it's like they're already there. They already are talking about.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty
Thank
good.
you.
Of course. And I hope that helps everybody get out there, do these presentations. That's why I think it's like one of the most important things that I teach you guys is how to do a presentation because you can do that shit everywhere. But I love it. Carrie, awesome. Who wants to get coached next? Deb, how you feeling?
I will. I just didn't want to take up more time if somebody else wanted to.
You are
Feel like
fine.
I've been doing
Sarah and Shanna, do you have anything?
Well, I do have a consult coming up, but
Oh,
like right after
then
this
we'll
call.
come back to you. This will be
Yeah,
some
no
coaching.
problem.
All right, Sarah, lay it on me.
But I do have some thoughts about it because it's not my target demographic is someone who came through a referral. I am supporting them in the capacity of business. But like she's an artist. So I'm not entirely sure what she's looking for. I'm thinking something similar to the other person, but the other person is someone who's been like getting one-on-one packages within Scholars. And I know that she has access to all of that material along with other stuff. So I'm not too, yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm not sure if it's going to be a great fit, but I'll only, I guess, kind of get to that by being curious with her on the consult.
Yes. And I think you could look at this in two different ways. You could look at it as the universe giving you a sign to stick with your niche. And you could also look at this as the universe giving you a sign to here's a person, you could work with this person, maybe more on a general side, and have the funds to maybe cut back on Scholars hours.
Yeah.
I think either could be true. Now, within that, the only way we'll figure it out is if you go in and you're open.
Mhm.
You'd be like, all right, I'm open to whatever this person has to say. In January, I did a consult with a dentist. And I was like, she's not typically the person I would be coaching. And I was like, you know what? I have a career consult thing already like tagged up. I already know how to do a consult for that. So something more general. I was like, might as well. And she was like, no, I like really loved it. And it was like, it felt like a great consult. And I was like, you know, I'm open to this if it works out. If it doesn't work out, it just was a sign that I'm supposed to niche down. And it didn't end up working out, but like I still love her dearly. And I was just like open. And this is the when you're open and all, it's like you're committed to building the business, but not attached to me, the person. Maybe the flavor of this for you is like open. It's like I'm committed to the business, but not attached to a niche. But if the niche just kind of guides you, like what we were talking about with Deb about like the kind of like following your intuition and being like, okay, it's like I feel like I could really help her. This is something I could do for her. That couldn't hurt the world. But it's like if I'm feeling like this is not a good match, then we're just gonna let it go. Because there are so many people that are coming to you,
Mhm.
you know?
Well, that does not feel true at this moment in time.
I know. But like if
But I don't feel like I'm going into this with attachment. I think my energy's just been low in general lately. Like I shared, I think it's just I'm getting over being sick too, so it's just hard to like even like pay attention on this call.
well,
Yeah.
you guys will do that to you. And I would definitely like recommend getting some food. I just had some more like food to feel a little bit less nauseous. And also this comes back to like the trusting that like, okay, my energy is low right now. Doesn't mean I'm in a low value cycle. And it also doesn't mean that like I'm not attracting my dream people. Because like even though my energy has not felt that it was there for the past like 3-ish weeks, honestly, since the mastermind, I still brought in some amazing humans. I was like, how could that be? And so I think that the thought is that like even if your energy is low, that doesn't mean you're going to get low results either. That's not what that means.
Mhm.
And I think that's what your brain's concerned about. But just because your energy is low, yeah, you might have to do a couple less posts. You got out there, you did a presentation in person. I'm sure those people were feeling pretty inspired. It sounds like you're going to make that a regular thing. They're going to build the know, like, and trust factor. And so it's like, it's coming and I'm enjoying the journey. It's like, one of the things that like I come back to is that like Brooke said that like the happiest time in her business was when she had like, she just hit 300K. And she was like, it was still like in the building phases. It was like the falling, the scrambliness, that like feeling like, oh my gosh, like I think right now is like the times when we're gonna look back and we're gonna be sharing these stories on like stages with people and being like, this was the time that everything like changed for me. It was Valentine's Day in 2023. And I was just open and I was just open to the way that my business worked. And all of a sudden, the less attached I got, I just like felt like I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy the journey and like go with it as much as I can. If my energy's low, I'm gonna freaking rest. Because I'm not gonna kill this is inevitable. And then it's like having that like detachment from being like, that's what's gonna I know, and you and I both know. It's like whatever you're just like, just gonna enjoy the journey. It's like I just am feeling in the flow. What happens? We sign people. Always.
Mhm.
It's like if you can just stay in that energy, like people are coming. I'm so excited to work with them. I'm visualizing them every fucking day. And I'm also like enjoying my long walks on the beach and like the pool and all these wonderful things. It's like maybe when you are like super booked, I want you to still make time for that, but it's like maybe there'll be a little less time of that. And it's like, wow, okay, so I'm really appreciating every moment I get to spend with my dog, every moment. Like I had this thought, which is a weird thought about like Rob. And I was thinking like I was getting like freaked out about work I had to do and we were like snuggling. And I was like, it's like I'm not gonna look back on my life and remember this post, but I'm gonna remember holding him and like looking into his eyes right now. And I'm like, that's where I want to put my energy. So it's like the more present you can get, the funny enough, the faster the future goals will come to you. Because people, I think, feel like that, like magnetic, like I'm good. You come to me when you come to me. I'm gonna fight for like hell for you to have the best life you could possibly imagine. But I also am not attached to you. And I know that you're on your own journey. And then come back to that trust thing. So how does that land for you? That was
Yeah, thank you.
because you and I both know that you are going to be insanely successful. You already are insanely successful.
Yes, I have been aware that I think it's just really focusing on enjoying where I am now, appreciating where I am now.
And with that, one of the things that can help with that are the wins. So what was a win that you had this past week?
This week.
Yeah.
What are we? Tuesday. So yesterday, I don't know. Just
In between Tuesday and Tuesday.
I don't know, it's just supporting clients, but that's kind of also what I'm aware of is just I think because my life does have a lot of elements of what I am looking for is sometimes I forget to create as much space as I want for my own business growth, especially when I'm feeling low energy. That's the first place I will compromise my commitments.
And what if
And
that's okay right now?
yeah, I think that's kind of just what I've arrived at. So I think, I mean, if that qualifies as a win, is just kind of ebbing towards acceptance.
And it's like another thing is like knowing that you have set up all these systems so your business is going to like that is what we have spent the time on, not in the bringing people in. Well, we have like within it, but it's like you've got the system set up. Now you can just like let your business feel easy. And even if you don't post, it's not the end of the world. If you don't reach out to people, not the end of the world. And the more that you can, like, I don't think it's a bad thing to focus on these other areas of your life right now. And I don't think it's a bad thing to like be like, hey, I'm just going to cut work off right now. If that, I think the reason that you don't like that is because that's like not what you want your future to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, oh, I can see that this is like not really aligned with what I want my future to be. And I'm also accepting that that's where I am right now. Like for me, like my body, it's like, okay, I accept that this is where my body is right now. And I think I look pretty damn good. But I also know this is not like the most aligned figure that I would love to have. But then it gets to be instead of like the drama about like, oh my God, I didn't do this. And I was like not working out and I like didn't schedule or like plan out my food the way I wanted to. Instead of being in that energy, I'm like, oh, it's like, okay, I was sick. And I don't want to be the kind of CEO when we were talking about like the CEO beliefs. I don't want to be the kind of CEO that beats my employees into the ground when they're sick. I want them to take a break.
Mhm.
Like
That's
as the CEO, how would you talk to your employee about what's going on right now?
Mm, I think I would offer them some extra support, but I don't know that I'm running my business the way that I would. I would expect certain things to be delivered anyway, and they're not getting done. But it's fine. It's like I think it's just I sometimes overestimate my like energetic capacity for what I can actually do. And I think that's just the case right now because it's just hard to feel energy right now.
Yeah. So what would it look like for you to underestimate your energetic capacity? What would the results you would want to be delivered? Like what Deb was saying about like what was it, the winning goal and the bonus goal? What would your winning goals be? Like, what would it look like for you to get like the things done here?
Hmm. I mean, I think this week is just going to be really about serving my clients and running the webinar. I don't know that I have a capacity for beyond that right now. Maybe later in the week, we'll see if my health improves, but
That was me on February 1st. I was like, I feel horrible, but I'm gonna run this webinar and it's gonna be just fine. And I had like a lot of people that were like, you did a great job. And I was like, I felt like I was going to die, but I'm really glad that you enjoyed that. Thank you, Red Bull. And I want you to like, I feel like you and I for sure, and I know that like this is how many of us go, we go immediately to the action line, right? And so we're like, this is what I want to do. These are the results I would want, right?
mhm.
Instead, I want you to think about like, as a CEO of your business, how do you want your business to feel? Because you can expect things to get delivered anyways from a place of like this positive productivity, like, hey, you know what? I'll support you. If what do we need to support you in? I got you. We're gonna get these things delivered, but I also want to make sure that you feel supported and loved and held. How do you want your business to feel this week?
Um, I think in general, I want to work on making my business more joyful, more playful, more fun, more energizing. Um, feels
Now,
like a little bit of a reach for this week.
that's okay. What if, trust me, you know, I'm with you. However, if you were to just make this joyful, playful, fun, and energizing, this like serving clients, how can you make serving clients fun and joyful and playful?
I think it happens automatically for me when I'm in sessions. It's just like when I'm outside of sessions
Huh?
and then I'm working on my business that if
Now, is your webinar finished?
mhm.
Okay.
Well, I need to modify it for the virtual version, but
These are the only two things that are in your outline right now. This is it. You're going to serve clients and you're going to run the webinar. Okay.
mhm.
What else do you need to do to get the webinar ready?
Just fix the slides so that it has the end portion of it different and then practice it. And then I think that's it.
Okay. So this is the only thing that I'm letting you do for your business this week. I actually got this coaching in OCA and I cried because she was like, you have to go by the pool and read. And I was like, I'm panicking. I was like, there's too much to do. There's all this stuff. You've done all the stuff. You are good with the stuff. We've done all the actions. I don't want you to market. I don't want you to post this whole week.
Mhm.
Okay. That's what, if, let's just take a reset for your energy. Okay. And it's totally fine. You've got a fun, like the whole reason why we get that social media feed set up, you've got it, right? I almost wrote Sandy. It was not Sandy. But look at this. You can
Mm.
tell that you are a badass coach. Look at this. You are not, look at these. Anyone who looks at your feed is going to be like,
I don't even want to look at it right now, though. I'm just like, it's like
why?
so much work, but it's fine.
This
I'll
is
like,
not so, wait, you need to do more work than this. This is fine. This is great. This is phenomenal. What more work do you want to do?
there's just not enough as like a business coach on there. I just,
All the way up to here, 9, 18, 27, math.
mhm.
It's 27 plus 9, 36. You have 36 posts on here and you're like, that's not enough. What would be enough for your brain?
Mm. I don't know. I fell behind by a lot,
Okay.
but I think I just need to let that go for right now because I have the consult. So,
Yes. And also, like, okay, and we got consult as well. Okay. Which also, like, fuck yeah, you've got a consult. Like, have you spent any time celebrating this? Maybe it wasn't your energetic match. Maybe it wasn't like, but that we can do something about.
mhm.
You're attracting people to do consults through referrals. That's badass. Okay. And this amazing artist is going to come to you and it's going to like be like, change my life. And you're like, I've done it for myself. I can do it for you for sure.
Yeah,
So
I think I'm going to take on board the idea of being present and going with that.
what would it look like though for you? I want you to spend some time, like just a second, visualizing that like 36 posts about your business. What if that felt joyful?
Mhm.
Your sessions feeling joyful, fixing the slides and feeling joyful. What would you need to, is there anything you would need to do while you're fixing those slides to feel joyful about it?
Mm, no, just create the time for it.
What about like visualizing the people? What's the name of the presentation again?
How to attract clients through honesty.
Okay. So what if you're like just seeing their faces like light up because they've never heard that before. They've heard that they have to post more. They've heard that they have to do all these things. And you're telling them that all they have to do is feel honest and speak their truth.
Mhm.
What are you teaching in that webinar?
Well, that's like loaded. It's a whole webinar, but each of us are clients, so we already understand how to create clients, and it's more looking at building relationships with people and connecting before marketing and selling, and that's my intention for the consult too.
And you've done that. And like you've literally done that. You've created a consult. So you're teaching something that you already have done. You're literally proving it to yourself this week. Yes, maybe you're not attracting like this perfect person, but you can still teach that shit. Right? Okay. But I want you to see that like this thought I'm feeling behind, it's like that doesn't feel joyful, playful, fun, or energizing. So just like in meditation, like watch that thought go. Just be like, thank you, brain, for offering me that thought. I'm not going to attach or believe that right now.
Mhm.
What the fuck is behind? We have a business. It's like there's never been a less quantitative thing that could ever exist ever. And our brains still try to figure out ways that we can feel inadequate. And I'm like, oh, typical human. Nice. But it's like you're not what is behind? Behind doesn't even exist. Thank you, brain. But it's like I've done 36 posts about my business. I feel so joyful. I feel so energized. They were awesome. Like, so proud of that. This webinar, bad fucking ass. It is joyful. It's playful. It's fun. It's energizing. It's going to make them so happy. And I think you're focusing on you a little bit, and you got to focus on them.
Yeah.
Focus on that artist. Focus on any human that has signed up for that webinar. And what would you need to think?
Mm. I don't know, just something related to focusing on them.
I would say this is going to help them. Whenever I think that, I feel like so energized.
Mhm.
What can you think to make you feel fun?
It's just nice to connect with people and hear about their goals and ambitions.
What about playful?
Like once I'm getting into the thing, I know I can just be like, this is gonna be fun and it's fine, and switch my energy. It's just it requires a little bit more engine revving up right now with not feeling well.
Oh yeah, it does. And that's okay. What if like what I've been thinking about is like I feel like shit right now and I'm like, oh my God, but when I have a kid, like Stacey was talking about like not getting any sleep, I was like, oh, this is the universe preparing me for motherhood. I was like, I'm ready, bring it. There's some sort of thing that's coming my way that I need to be ready to be super tired and still able to perform.
True.
And then what about joyful?
I love what I do, and I love that I get to do it every day. So
And that's all that you need to focus on. Do that. And I want you to take no more than like 30 minutes. Don't practice it to a T. You don't need to. Make it fun. Have some music going on as you practice it. No more than 30 minutes out of your whole week. The rest of the time, I want you to fucking rest. Okay?
mhm.
Rest and chill. It's gonna happen. I promise. It already is happening. It has happened already. You know, it's like the business has already happened, and we're just gonna keep it happening. We're keeping it on the journey. Because it's not gonna feel better when you're there. I promise.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Thank you.
Love you, Sarah. Amazing. I love all of you so much. I've got 8 minutes left. Deb and Shanna, bring it. I think that Shanna is usually at work. That
I'll
is
share a few wins.
yes, I would
And
love to
then
hear the
I'm going to look for a little accountability in an area, I guess.
on.
Okay, I have a few. I'm excited. So I had a consult on Saturday. They didn't show, and a huge win for me was like, didn't bother me at all. This is like fine. I had something else like Stacey recommends. I worked on
Yes.
that. It was great. I honestly didn't dip my spirits at all. I was just like, okay. And then I started using your charting for weight loss. So my clients have their little like charts, which is fun. And even my husband and I are doing it because we're going to Hawaii.
Yes.
So we're like wanting to just hone it in. Speaking of Hawaii, we just sent a Valentine's text to our kids and told them that because they're coming with us, that we're paying for them to go skydiving while we're there. And I'm actually going to do it. And I've
You have
always
to
said I
do
would
it.
never do it. Like I'm terrified just saying it, but I'm like
So
super
long.
excited. What?
You're gonna love it. It's the most live I've ever
How,
heard.
so you've done it.
It's twice, and I would do it again.
Are you like afraid of heights?
Yes. And it was the
Okay.
best thing I've ever done in my whole life. And I've
Okay.
done a lot of really cool shit. I've been quite fortunate and privileged, but like it's my favorite thing to do in the world. I can't wait to hear how you feel.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm excited.
Like, I was thinking about becoming an instructor.
What?
I was thinking about becoming an instructor. I loved it so much.
Oh,
Like,
that's awesome.
yeah.
I feel sorry for whoever is jumping with me. And then I actually had 3 clients this week, which I pay attention to these things when it happens in threes, but like say this is too simple. Like that's their problem. This is just too simple. It can't be this simple. So
Right.
that client that I upped the pricing because I thought she was gonna be difficult is already down 10 pounds in 3 weeks. And she's just like, that's her biggest problem, is her thought that this can't be this simple. So I'm like, this is crazy. And I did notice, and maybe I'll like coach myself on it a little bit this week and get coaching next week if it's still there, since we're kind of short on time. That's actually something that I kind of dread now with working with her, because I'm worried, like last session, we ended early because she's just like, do you have anything else for me? And I currently don't have like a program, a specific like, oh, here's a worksheet, or I literally just coach them. I have a process I take them through, but with her, I think that's a little bit weighing on me a little bit. Like I need to come up with more value for her, because she's like, I don't know if I told you this last time. One of the thoughts I had about her was that she's going to be hard to coach because she already has mindset coaches. But it's interesting how she is getting crazy quick results, and she is very aware of her thoughts, but she wasn't aware of them around weight loss. But because she is working through it quickly, I guess it's different than my other clients. We have more than enough to work through every session, and she's just like on top of everything. It's kind of crazy.
So here are my two thoughts. First off, if she ends early and she's like, okay, I feel complete, I feel really good, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It's like, I am such a damn good coach. Your brain is making that a problem. Your brain is making that someone for 3 weeks has lost 10 pounds, and your brain's like, they're getting too good of results. How is your brain making this a problem? I love it. And all of our brains do. Okay. So it's like, within that, it's like, okay, let's say that she's like, I feel complete. Trust that more people are on the way, Deb. You're a bad ass. Clearly, your clients are getting insane results. Who would not want to work with you?
I
Nobody.
really do feel like my strengths are 100% in my coaching, and I've really like married so many amazing tools to where I do feel like I've created this as perfect as it can be weight loss program that feels totally simple, almost to where I have a hard time talking about it because it sounds canned and just fake.
These are thoughts.
But so I do think a lot of my clients are going to come from referrals more than anything. So I want to work on the other part of the business. This is the part that feels like it's very easy, is actually working with the clients, getting their results, taking them through my, like, I have no doubt in my process. Like it's 100% locked in,
We said to
permanent
bring more people
change.
in.
What?
We said to bring more people in, not
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. And that's first, like for me, the challenging part and what I'm working through is my messaging. Like I said, it just, for me, for some reason, when I talk about the ease of it or the simplicity of it, it just, I think in my mind, I'm thinking they're not going to believe this. So then maybe it's like when I'm creating the content.
Don't just be like, it's so simple, it's so easy. Just be like, I know that it has felt like such a challenge for you up until this point, and I want to make it a little bit easier. Don't tell them you don't want to sell them $1 million in 5 days. You want to sell them that like it is possible. We're selling possibility. So it feels canned and fake, don't say it. And also address their concern, address their objections as well.
And I guess it's not 100% true when I really look at it, because my one client I've been talking to you about, she even said like the first 2 times she just allowed those urges was like torture, and then it was easy, but it only took 2 times. So I think there is a really challenging element in the beginning, but when you just get through that, then that's when your brain's like, how can it be this easy? So I guess there is like part of it is challenging in the beginning.
Yeah. And tell
but
people,
I'm preparing them for that ahead of time, so they're like expecting it to come, and they have their tools to get them through it.
I love that. Okay, so first off, this is just like for marketing purposes. Don't say things that you don't even believe, like that you don't think that they'll believe themselves. Congratulations. That means you know your client really well and you're just like, awesome. One thing I want to offer to you is that when you are, the other thing is that you could do stuff like this, like the 5-year plan. You could do this with your client and be like, I want you to picture yourself in the holistic way. I know you have other
Mhm.
mindset coaches. That's why we need to do this to integrate weight loss into it.
I like that.
Great.
Thanks. That's a great idea.
This into mindset. And I will say that like I would get results with weight loss and I'd be like, oh, things are great. Like I'm feeling good. I've lost this much weight. I'm doing great. And then guess what? I've slipped.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we want to create this holistic experience for this to be the best year of your life. And I think that year of your life, I think that potentially what's happening is your thoughts that like a year is a long time might be.
Yes, I have that a lot lately
So I think that like,
because I think they are getting results quicker and quicker that it kind of like maybe I don't have to do this now, but I'm wondering if maybe I should do like a half-hour sessions. I don't have to decide that now, but
well, and what I did is I like, just like what I was telling Sarah, like sign 5 clients and then change it.
yeah.
So how many more clients do you want to sign at a year? And then we can change it. Or you could change the duration. Be like, I think I could probably, like for me, I changed it from 10 months to 5 months. And now I have to go back to 6 months.
I guess the mind drama I have about 6 months, like cutting it in half, is that then they have to pay a higher monthly, like it like doubles their monthly what they pay. What?
Wait, tell me more about that.
Well, like if I kept this cost the same and just cut the time,
Mhm.
if they were doing like a monthly payment of 420, it would be like 840.
Okay. Let's sign, like, how many is fully booked for you?
Well, 20 and I have 7.
Okay. What if you sign just 3 more clients with what's working,
Yeah. Okay.
which is the 1 year and how much?
5K.
5K.
But I signed her at 75K.
Remember this. I love this. Okay. So then what if you sign 3 more with 6 months at 2,500? This is exactly what I did. And
Oh,
let's
really?
yeah. So I did, instead of it being 6K or 6K for 10 months, I did 3K for 10 months or 3K for 5 months.
Wait, okay. 3K for 5 months. Okay. I see. Because you were doing 6K. Okay.
So I just cut 6K in half. And
Mhm.
then the last 5 to be fully booked, then you can do 6 months at 5K.
Mhm.
How does that feel?
This is interesting. I'm feeling like 5 at 6 or 6 months at 25K is like a step down just because it's like having to bring in more clients for more money.
How much do you want to charge for it?
Well, it's still the same result that I'm selling. So that's what I'm.
Okay.
Right. If I'm not thinking of it as time or sessions I'm selling, if I'm thinking of is it like,
Yeah. Good way to think about it.
well, I want to do it the 5K.
We still want to stress, we don't want to stress because it's like if we change too much, it's gonna be,
Yeah.
we don't want to change too much of what's working. So like I tried to do 10K or 10K for 10 months and it was too much.
Yeah.
I told myself for like 6 months about how it's the best thing. And I want you to do that, like with this, but also know that like, what is your, and I talked with Shayna about this in the coaching I gave her. How much money do you want to make from this business this year? And
I
also,
want to do 100K, and it's interesting because it's like it doesn't sound that impossible, but then at the same time, when I break down the numbers, it kind of does.
is there any amount of money that you actually need to make for your family to be okay?
No,
So if
I think that's part of my struggle is like,
we don't need to make any money from this, what would feel, maybe minus the 100K, what would feel more like how you felt on this last call? Like the joy, the experience, the
Mhm.
possibility of it all. What would that, what emotion came up for you?
during when you were talking,
Yeah, like the expansiveness of being
I
just,
don't know, it was just like exhilaration or like ease, and like some of my favorite, you know this, some of my favorite emotions to create from it's like fun and ease, simplicity. I'm trying to build the skill of like processing through and letting go of the resistance that comes up and still doing the things, but I like creating from this place, and I tapped into that during it. And part of, I don't know, I think part of it in Scholars, I coach a lot of coaches that are like very coming from a very heavy, exhausted place. And I just don't want that for myself.
yeah. And I love that you're trying to build your business from that place as well.
Yeah.
So
And it's working with really how little I've done. I mean, I have done a lot. I don't want to take away, but I know I can do so much more to grow my business, like so much more.
what if it could be simple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I think that's the only way for me.
I know it is. That's the only way for all of us, it's like I give you the systems and things like that. And there is discomfort to work through.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're welcoming in these 20 women,
Mhm.
leading a movement.
Well, and I think that this last client has really kind of broken my brain a little bit because I thought like, oh, I can't be the coach for her. She's too this, too that, too. And she's just like blowing all my expectations. So some of the fears I had around safety and bringing in clients that are different than my like people pleasers, it's just like all that fear is gone. So I think it was like so good for her to come into my space because she's different than anyone I've ever coached.
Yeah. And you're going to bring in a ton of people. 20. And I want you to think about the 20 people that you're helping make an impact, a ripple effect on 200 people. Because like for each one of those 20 people, you're going to have a ripple effect that'll affect 10, at least 10 people in their lives.
Yeah, I think about that a lot because a lot of people I coach are moms, and it's just so interesting how
Mhm.
it
Oh,
just
yeah.
affects every area.
So I want you to be in that exhilaration, that ease, that fun, that simplicity. I want you to be there thinking about the business. This could be, let's just work on getting 3 more clients at this stage.
Yeah.
How can we take this circumstance and feel that same exhilaration about this circumstance? What would you need to think to create exhilaration about at least 3 more clients at this?
I mean, it does seem very easy. It seems like kind of a no-brainer.
Think about the emotion of exhilaration though. Like, where do you feel that in your body?
Almost like in my throat. It's almost like when I feel that way, it's almost close to tears. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
How can you think about these 3 people that will affect eventually 300 people in their lives? What can you do to think about that, to feel that exhilaration, at least here? And then we can change the circumstance after this. But I want you to create the feeling with the current circumstance.
I guess I just love thinking about my clients. Like, I can't put a face to them yet, but just that they're like, just kind of praying for help or thinking, is this ever going to be something that I overcome? Or, I guess I just envision on the places that my other clients came to me from, where they felt so much shame and exhaustion, and how they're missing out on everything in life that they want to be focusing on because they're so focused on this. And it's interesting, at the same time, my clients, the people that I attract, are actually they still love their life.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Just
not
like
unhappy people. This is just something that really has, it weighs on them.
literally.
But
I said weighs on them. Like
I know
it's like
it does.
first off, you need to use all this for your marketing. And I want you to picture
Mhm.
yourself like literally like lifting the weight off of them emotionally. Every
Mhm.
single one of those 3 women. How does that feel?
It just feels, I noticed kind of a negative emotion come up. Like, yeah, I just need to get them in my space.
Okay.
Like, if I could get them, of course I could help them. But once they're in my space,
I want you to like just feeling exhilaration and
okay.
things you love your clients. Okay. But all the things they're going through, you're going to be compelled to say the things that will bring these people in. Or just feeling like whenever I'm just like in this place of exhilaration, like, wow, this is amazing. I look in my inbox and there's a consult. I'm like, okay. It's not always frequent and it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
I just want you to practice that and staying in that for, like, just the next 5 minutes. I want you to feel that exhilaration. And what can you think to feel exhilarated right now with what we've already created in your business and just 3 more
Mhm.
times?
Yeah.
What's a thought that you can think about them?
I guess I just love thinking about I truly believe that there's no end to the progress we can make or what we can create. And so that alone, just opening their mind to like this weight loss thing, is actually just the beginning for them.
Oh, and I want you to have that thought about your business too.
I've noticed that a lot. A lot of what it makes sense, right?
It's the next level, it's a different level, same thoughts. I know.
Yes, totally. I'm like, I was looking at all the like things. It's like, it's simple. It's this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could have these thoughts about bring it into my business, it's exactly the same thing. It's so weird.
And the beauty is no, but I think that the reason why you are able to help your clients and this is the way you're supposed to build your business, I think for me, it's like that makes me feel so much better. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I've already bowed the semen once. I know exactly how to do it. Know
Yeah.
exactly what's coming. I'm ready.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if you were able to do it simple with weight loss, you can absolutely do it simple with your business. It's the same it's a neural pathway.
Well, it's interesting too, because I noticed a thought, was it last week? I don't know if I told you this, but I think I told you I would get coaching in the group and I never posted it, but I noticed a thought, I'm not progressing. And I'm like, I got 3 new clients in February or January. Like, but it felt so believable. I was down for like a week. And I was just comparing myself to like people going into group coaching and people going into like, you know, the $1 million coaches.
So you
And it
can
was just funny when I finally caught it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a lie.
exactly. And it's like your brain just believed it for a second. But I want to say that like if you've got a neural pathway for weight loss, you can use it for business too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, thinking about what thought created ease for your weight loss that we can also translate to these 3 people coming in and to your business in general.
Just doing the one next thing every day that just continually moves you forward just by 1 degree. Like if you did that every day, that's what I do with my clients. Like it doesn't have to be these big, huge things. It's just the daily habits that we create, showing up for ourselves, creating that momentum was in simple ways while we're changing our self-concept as we do it. Then it just kind of becomes our natural way of being.
Amazing. What about fun?
Totally. Well, we only eat foods we love.
Okay.
And so when I create the plan, well, we create the plan together and like there's only, you're going to have foods that satisfy you, foods that you enjoy, and you're going to plan for exceptions whenever you want to. We're just planning from the prefrontal. And it's so fun to wear anything you want, to feel good in your body, to feel energized, to not be bloated, to feel in control around any food in any situation, to be proud of yourself. Like, I mean, there's so much fun in weight loss. It's fun to blow your own mind. It's fun to show yourself what you're capable of so that then you can go do the next thing that you want to do. It's fun to love yourself unconditionally. I mean, there's so many things that we do that, which is why it's just a good experience overall. It's not a heavy, like my clients don't want it to end. Really.
Want it to end. I want you to have these thoughts about your business. I want you to do anything you want instead of wear anything you want and feel good and in control. I want you to feel proud of yourself. I want you to have so much fun in business growth.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to blow your own mind. I want you to show yourself what you're capable of. I want you to have fun. I want you to love yourself unconditionally. I want you to see that it's a good experience overall. I don't
celebrate often.
What?
Celebrate often.
Yes.
Something I don't do a lot with my business.
But now you're learning.
Well, and I'm doing it with you today. I brought a lot of celebrations.
Exactly. And so it's like when you see that it's just the same skill in a different area, think about how fast your business is about to grow. You're about to do 3 pounds or 10 pounds in 3 weeks.
I know.
And from prefrontal. All the same
Mhm.
shit, different flavor.
I know. It's crazy. It's good
Tell
to
me
be
about-
reminded.
Right? And tell me about the simplicity of building a business. Or tell me about the simplicity of weight loss and we can
Yeah. I'm like, no. Simplicity of weight loss is just removing all the stuff that we don't need to do. So like 95% of what most people are doing are not things that even matter.
Mhm.
So it's like we remove and then we rebuild from what we want. And it is some future self. It's like, how do I see myself eating in 5 years? How do I want to be eating? Who is she? And that's how we lose the weight.
Mhm.
So just, I guess, removing all the things that don't.
For your business. 95% are things that don't even matter. Rebuild from what you want. Picture your
Mhm.
future self. How do you see yourself as the CEO?
Mm-hmm.
Who is
At the result where I want to be.
Mhm.
Like, what do I think on a daily basis? about my business, about me, about doing new things to grow. That one is a big one for me.
Yeah.
And that's something that I work with my clients too, that I want to bring more into for myself is you have to think different thoughts to become the new version of yourself. And to me, I think that's kind of a block. Sometimes I have a hard time, and I've told you this before because I do love my life so much. It's scary to let go of who I am to become her. And so I think that's why so many times when I try to go do these things, it's just like block, like literally stop.
Well, and here's the thing, and yet you've got 3 new people.
Yeah.
So even though you're feeling the block, I know what you mean. I don't think we're ever meant to be fully unblocked though.
Yeah.
Once we figure out one block, then there's another block. And I think that like within this journey of life, it's like we're going to go in through phases of things working, things not working, all these things. But if we can just like be at peace with that and be in the journey of it and like keep looking towards that future vision,
Yeah.
it's really going to matter.
All right. Well, so my accountability is I'm going to. I'm afraid
What
to
feels
say
like
it.
ease, fun, exhilaration, and simplicity? What's your A line from there?
Ease, fun, simplicity, and exhilaration. Creating a calendar that is
From these thoughts?
Mhm. From what thoughts?
From these thoughts, like creating a calendar from these thoughts.
Yeah. I want to continue. I've been working on this because I would create a calendar and then I wouldn't follow it, but I'm honoring it because I'm creating a calendar with more spaciousness. I'm adding like spaces to just take my dog on a walk, and I have a morning and evening routine.
I saw that
And
and I love it. I was inspired.
yeah, so it makes all the difference. I've created like ways to keep myself more present throughout the day. Like I'm not a big crystals person, but I have one now, and I have like this like necklace that reminds me, like little things throughout my house to just bring me back to like. And then I heard this thing about, oh, bless your water every time you drink it. Just little things because you drink water so often that bring you back to gratitude. And so I want to have that be kind of my, I don't know, anchor, if you will, and then take actions from that place and create. Oh, my calendar would be like, I've really thought about like, what is one thing every day that I can do realistically to move my business forward? And it might be like, my goal this week is to release my first podcast. So like the first thing, it might be like today I'm just going to, watch the tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
The next day I'm going to create my outline. The next day so I'm just going to do one little thing instead of being like, do the podcast today. Because I won't do that. I've learned the way that, so I guess, okay, the whole key to this and what I do with my clients is working with who you already are and using that for you instead of battling against it. That's what I'm learning to do in my business.
And that's literally what you're learning to do. But look, think about how much easier it is because you know who you are. That's why you're given this challenge.
And because I've helped other people do it now, so I can see more how I can do it too in this area. Yeah.
And I just want you to picture like these 3 more clients. I just want to picture them just like coming to you. I want you to see them. I want you to be like, just feel that like, and it's like, and your positivity is just like, it's going to be magnetic for them.
Yes. I don't know. I love my clients. The 3 new ones I got, I didn't think they could get better than my other ones. And they're just as amazing.
know. I'm like, how could it keep getting better? And I'm like,
I know.
It literally does.
It's crazy.
It's incredible.
So I'm just loving where I am, but I'm just trying not to use that as like, I'm trying I'm trying to enjoy it and continue
To grow.
to grow. And that's been my challenge, but that's okay. That's a good challenge to have.
Really great problem to have. And it's also like, I think that's never meant to be a problem that we always solve either.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's never going to be like, oh, I'm really enjoying the journey for my whole life now.
Yeah.
No, it's like we're not ever going to be at the point where we're like, I'm in bliss and I just really enjoy
Yes.
this. I'm a 1,000,000% present. Because I don't think we'd be humans. Like,
Yes. No. Well, thanks for staying on so long.
and I love you so, so much.
I love you too.
all-
And my puppy loves you too.
Your puppy's so small. Oh my God. What is
He's
his name?
been on my lap. He's been sleeping.
What is his name?
Vinny.
Nini. Oh my God.
Vinny with a V.
Oh, Vinny.
My cousin Vinny.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, he's full grown. He's a little 6.5 pound.
I was like, where are my cats? Cats are out over there.
Yeah, he's probably the size of your cats, right? How much do they
He
weigh?
is. Well, Frank the Tank is a little chunk, so he's just like he's big boned. We're
Yeah.
celebrating him exactly how he is.
Big bone, I love it.
Dear Franklin.
Well, have a great Valentine's Day.
You dear friend, I love you so much. I
love
love
you
all of
too.
you, and I will be seeing you next week. We're gonna be
Alright.
no plan.
What?
I don't know what we're talking about next week, but
Oh, it'll be fabulous, I'm sure.
it's gonna be great. All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.